It's planting season, the rains are back, and hopefully for a longer period. This is the first time since we acquired our farm that we are planting in a huge chunk to determine the amount of produce we can get. This is Africa Farming. Of course, my name is Samuel, and welcome. If you're new here, consider subscribing and sharing this video to your friends who may find it useful and relevant. We are planting maize and beans. With regards to maize, since we are in a semi-arid area, we picked the hybrid drought-tolerant variety that takes around 3 months from seed to harvest. We are planting in 4 out of the 10 acres we have. We are not planning on intercropping maize and beans as is usually the case. We will plant maize purely on 3.5 acres and beans on 1/2 acre. The reason is simple, I'll tell you shortly. In order to get straight lines of maize and beans, we decided to use thread lines, which also helped us in establishing the right spacing and distance between 2 rows. As you can see, my people are digging holes along the thread lines. We divided ourselves into 3 groups in order to finish the work early enough. Group 1 had 4 men whose responsibility was to dig the holes or pockets where seeds would actually be planted. Group 2, where my son and I belonged, was responsible for planting the seeds in the holes. And the last group, of course, of the 2 ladies was in charge of covering planted pockets with loose, light soil just to facilitate germination. The reason as to why we are separating beans from maize is that the soil here has a lot of nitrogen from organic matter. Beans add nitrogen to the soil, and too much nitrogen affects maize. Secondly, we want to discourage competition of soil nutrients between maize and beans, as maize tend to suffer a lot. Thirdly, beans require more water than maize, and it will be easier to handle if they were planted separately, since we are not using any form of irrigation currently. Therefore, the beans will be planted in a section of the farm that's closer to the main source of water in case the rains fail us. My neighbor across the road has sunk a borehole, and that's where we get our water currently before we sink ours. You can see how thick his fence is compared to mine, and also in comparison to the residents around. It's important when buying land in a semi-arid area, set a budget for sinking a borehole, as that would make your crops grow faster and easily. Kajiado is very fertile. In fact, you don't need fertilizer to plant. You only need the seeds. The challenge here is water, and a borehole will prove to be a very valuable resource that will catapult your activities to a level you had not even imagined. As you can see, we are only planting seeds. No application of fertilizer, as these may be harsh to the seeds and scorch them. Covering of planted pockets requires no use of djembes or hoes. It's recommended to use legs, since you need to cover with light, fine, loose soil to allow for easy germination. Hoes and djembes may cover the seed with boulders or hard soil, which may prevent germination of seeds. As you noticed from the scenery, this area is largely nomadic and practice livestock farming. In reality, only my neighbor across the road and myself practice crop farming around this place that we are in. More sensitization needs to be done to the locals, especially during such rainy seasons. In my opinion, Kajiado can be the breadbasket of the region if locals take up crop farming. But anyways, I digress. I also practice livestock keeping, though on a small scale. My sheep and goats are increasing in number. Sheep are very prolific and require little to no maintenance. Every month at the farm, we are always blessed with new lambs. The remaining 6 acres are for the sheep and goats to graze, as I never allow them out of my farm. One of the biggest challenges we face in this area are the number of termites and anthills that sprout each day. I need to find an organic solution to this. If you have any ideas, kindly comment down below. We also have poisonous centipedes, and wearing the right gear will ensure you protect yourself from any harm that may arise. Our flock of chickens is progressively becoming bigger, and soon we'll be back to where we were last year at a time like this. For those who follow us, you know what happened. If you don't, go back to our previous videos and watch. The African ma, or osilale as the locals call it, has been traditionally used for treating wounds, mouth ulcers, fractures, stomach disorders, microbial infections, and some inflammatory diseases. It's also used as an antiseptic, astringent, and as an expectorant. Catholics, as you may know, use the dried resin from osilale or the African ma as incense during their mass celebrations. It exudes nice scent and is great to plant around your homestead. It survives perfectly well in dry areas and rarely dies even in adverse dry conditions. Compare the two live fences. Goals, my friend. Even though my pine trees and K-pole fence are doing well, you must admire what my neighbor has done over the past 10 years. Gives me the morale to keep doing this, as it shows me the expectations I should have of this farm. When setting up a farm, you need tanks that are durable, preferably white tanks due to the amount of sunshine we receive. Although here we have installed black ones, but white ones are more preferable since they reflect a lot of the sunlight and are thus more durable. Just simple physics. This episode has been brought to you courtesy of Sador Properties. If you need to purchase your land around this area, Sador Properties is the agency to call. They guide you through the process of land buying and even show you which real estate is best for you, basically based on what you want. Their contacts are actually on the screen, and tell them that you were referred by Africa Farming. As you can see, my bananas are doing well. For those of you who watched the episode on what's in my farm, you should have actually seen these. I can't wait for them to mature and ripen for consumption. The reason I picked this location for my farm is the beautiful scenery around it. We have Kipeto Hills just a few kilometers away, and the views are just magnificent. My son has been away in school. This is the first time he's visiting the farm after closing school, so I wanted to update him on the progress made while he was away. I showed him the new sheep and goat pen and also the new flock of goats we had added recently. I also explained to him the benefits of organic manure and why we had piled it outside for decomposition. Most people hardly know that cow, goat, and chicken, and even sheep manure are rich in ammonia and can contain dangerous pathogens and bacteria. That's why decomposition or aging is very, very important and necessary to break down the organic matter and eliminate harmful substances before using the manure in your field. So for those who may actually be asking themselves how many seeds we planted per pocket or hole, the recommended seed rate per acre is around 10 kgs. This translates to around 2 seeds per pocket or hole. Now this has to be applied for both maize and beans. So we actually planted 2 seeds per pocket for both maize and beans. And remember, always plant just before the rains start. As you can see, for us, we were a bit late, judging from how slippery and muddy the ground was. Once you're done with the farm, ensure you clean yourself well to maintain hygiene so as to not transfer bacteria and other harmful organisms to another place. If possible, take a shower and change clothes and dispose what you wore in the farm appropriately. So that's it for us. Hope you've learned a thing or two. Remember to subscribe, hit on the notification bell to get notified on future uploads and releases. Connect with us on our socials at Africa Farming KE on X, Instagram, Facebook, Thread, and LinkedIn, and at africa.farming on TikTok for behind the scenes shoots. For collaborations and partnerships, reach us out on the number in the description section, that is 0797 333 251, 0797 333 251. And until next time, stay woke, stay peaceful, and always remember to changamka na ukulima. Bye bye.